Welcome to the infogirls podcast, the only place to find men's rights awareness conversations. I'm Kelly Joe.
And I'm Ann Payton. And this is Infogirls. Special edition.
Special edition.
Christian now.
Converted from Catholicism to Christianity just for the night. We have our first guest on the pod, and
this is a real winger.
Yeah, we're not skimping. We're bringing somebody to the forefront of the conversation who's a master of her craft.
And experienced in a craft.
The craft of giving birth to children who are feminine.
Yeah. Hat trick.
Our guest today is none other than
Jennifer Brothers. Pastor. Reverend. The Reverend.
Girl priest.
Girl
Jen
pastor.
Brothers. I know, but girl priest sounds funnier.
I know.
Yeah.
But women can't be priests.
Women can't be priests. They're
Except
still not letting us do that.
Except in some of them.
Except at my church, the church of big hearts and good vibes.
Women can be priests in theory, but not practice in the Episcopal Church.
See, yeah. Because I think that I was born a priest in theory, and a woman. I was born a woman.
Allegedly.
I was born wearing a long red dress to restaurants.
I was born in the red tent. And I said, put me back in there, coach.
The book. Have you read it? The Red Tent?
I've only
It's a really good
had
book.
it explained to me by my mother.
I love that book. Well, we'll save that for the pod.
But when she told me about it, I was like, girl, we should bring that back.
You said, tea? I don't want to see nobody.
Get me out of here.
I had PMDD. I don't want to see nobody.
Exactly.
They
didn't have PMDD when they had the red tent.
No, they had PMDD. That's why they had the red tent.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, same. It's chicken or the egg.
That was misogynistic of me to say. Okay.
Anyway, enough chatter.
Enough chatter. Let's get to. Do we have anything off the top that we need to speak about? Do we have any things at the top of the hour?
Any business?
Any business at the top of the hour?
No.
Okay, awesome.
This would be where we could answer questions from friends of the pod, but we haven't posted a single one of them.
But I forgot to do that. Oh, this is the thing is all of this, it's kind of, it's playing into itself, right? Mm-hmm. This is a game in a game.
Yeah, it's self-referential.
You're here, it's self-referential.
And it's kind of like a je ne sais quoi.
A je ne sais quoi. If you don't understand, good. You're not for us and we're not for you. Let them.
Women shouldn't be so easily accessible.
Let them. If you don't understand a woman, start.
If you don't understand a woman, you should meet one.
You should meet one.
Maybe talk to one.
And
buy her a cup of coffee. Or $1 million.
Buy her $1 million. Buy her $1 million cup of coffee. She'll never forget you, sir. You reached the number
Listen,
one.
I'm just saying, if men were walking around giving women $1 million more often, things would be a lot different.
You've reached the number one manipulating girls into talking to you better podcast. If you wanted girls to talk to you more, watch our podcast.
Watch our podcast and give us $1 million.
Give us $1 million.
I'll talk to you.
Okay, when we bring on, did you explain that this is your mother? This is Ann Payton Brothers.
Oh yeah,
mother.
Yeah, no, it's my mom. That won't be awkward for anyone.
That's the rule now. That's the goal. They want your mother to be involved in the church.
Our first Nepo guest on the podcast, and it's my mom.
Yeah.
Nepo baby Jennifer Brothers.
She wouldn't be here if it weren't for her work in creating you.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have my mom on, she's gonna say, I can't believe you had that on before you had me on. And I'm gonna say, well, girl, you should have put it out. I'm gonna now bring the chair in, and then we're gonna,
yeah,
and then we're gonna be like, now
go get the chair.
Now welcoming.
Whoa!
Whoa! They just dropped us off in heaven.
Oh my God, my mom's here!
Because Jen Brothers is here. This is our guest, Jen Brothers.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Woman pastor, woman therapist, and woman mother.
And woman mother.
All three of the mothers.
Tea.
Which has been the hardest job?
The mother.
Cheers to that.
I wonder why.
Cheers. There's nothing more like heart opening and vulnerable making, if that's the right word, than bringing a child into this world that you then have to just let go.
That's beautiful. We're gonna have to get you more drunk.
Girl. You know, just today I was thinking, I want a daughter, and then I said, oh, I'm already somebody's. I don't know if I have to do all that. I think I do. I think I need to bring forth
a daughter.
A daughter, maybe a girl pastor.
I don't want to do it because then I feel like I'm going to be in competition with her. I'm going to be like, I was a daughter first. Like, why can't you do your own thing?
Yeah, and exactly, and who's going to place, and at the Jimmy Awards, the high school theater awards.
I don't want to talk about the Jimmy Awards.
I
do not want to talk about the Jimmy Awards.
A friend of mine posted a TikTok recently. Shout out to Chris Kern's hilarious comic. And he was like, I think that I would still be eligible to win a Jimmy Award, and I think I would blow them out of the water. And you know who I thought of? Ann Payton Brothers. But she doesn't have TikTok, so I couldn't send it to her.
The thing that I hate about the Jimmy Awards is that if that was, like, accessible to me in Virginia,
you would have blown them out of the water.
I just know that I would. And whenever I see videos of those little 16-year-olds, I'm like, it's okay. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm healed. Really. But then I realize that I've just, like, dug my fingers into my palms so bad I'm bleeding.
Yeah. And that's us right now on the pod.
Jennifer, one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the podcast, not just because you were a woman who was going to be in our house.
Yeah. This is my house, too.
I'm the owner of this house. One of the reasons why we wanted to have you on, because we wanted to talk about a very important conversation that I feel like is near and dear to all of our hearts. And it is, I want to, open up the floor to conversation. The question on everyone's mind today is, why do Christians hate women?
And more importantly to Protestants, sorry.
Girlie.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Something very IRA just slipped out of you.
No, not at all.
Well, can I ask, like, what is the evidence for the hate? Like, let's get, like, how do you see that manifested?
Religion was created out of womb envy. Okay, guys were mad.
They were mad.
A few thousand years ago, perhaps, and they were like, I had something to do with this, too. And it was my dad. Actually, it was my dad. That's my dad.
I also feel like a lot of Christians love this idea that women are objects. That women are something to possess and to control. That the man is the leader of the household. And that women shouldn't vote.
I want to vote.
And some Christian women would say that they shouldn't vote. And a lot of Christians also, there are certain types of Christians who do not believe that women should have access to life-saving medical care. Sometimes referred to as abortion.
What?
Should we go on?
And not to say that
Women aren't a lot of Christians don't believe that women are allowed to speak in the church.
Right. So
A lot of Christians don't think that women are allowed to get laid. Brother.
you get it, sis.
You got 3 kids.
But I will say another disclaimer of we're always remembering that we're coming out of, thousands and thousands of years of just having like a bad society where everybody is being player hated against, and so women were just being player hated against even more.
But I think a lot of our society is the way that it is, frankly, because our society has been dominated by religion, but specifically Christian religions.
Yeah.
If you think about in, like, say, England or in the Americas.
Yes. Well, let your mother talk. She's the guy.
Yeah, you know what? We're speaking over women. And they should shoot us.
Yeah, believe women.
No, I want to hear what you have to say. And I don't disagree with anything that you have said. I think that there are a couple of things that we have to kind of parse out. When we say Christians, what are we talking about? And in this country...
Guys named Christian.
There is... I'm sorry, what was that?
Guys named Christian.
Guys named Christian.
And Chris by extension.
And Chris by
extension. Right. And
Pratt, Gosling,
Sorry.
Evans.
Yeah. Well, so the word Christian, especially in this country, is like this blanket term, right? And there's just a lot of varying belief underneath that big blanket term. But the truth is that I think what you're talking about is like unexamined cultural Christianity. Mm-hmm. So we live in a country where people claim to be Christian, or also like, actually, if you're not Christian, you are, in a lot of America, going to be ostracized or thought as less than. There's also, like, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of institutional religion that has done its best to convince people that if you don't pray a certain prayer or believe certain things, you're actually going to like burn for eternity in hellfire. So
I bet it feels good for a second.
I run a little cold.
There's probably 1 second of that hellfire that's like,
I run a little cold.
I feel a little.
But I mean, the thing is, like, if you like, there's a real disconnect between the actual things that the Christ, Jesus, human one.
Oh, that's the guy.
That guy.
That
guy, what he said and what he did and the way he lived his life is really, like, not reflected at all in much of what is considered cultural American Christianity right now, right? So I actually think that the OG Jesus was quite a feminist. And that term wasn't probably around at the time, but so much of what Jesus did was including the people who were being pushed to the margins.
Well, Jesus loved to hang out with some sex workers.
Yes. Hung out with the sex workers, hung out with anybody that society
There was some of the
lepers.
were some. Am I making this up? Is this fan fiction I'm writing in my head? But were some of the disciples a little gay?
I mean, they loved each
When
other.
the gay got
they were men who loved each other.
Bella, is it gay to be one of 12 men?
Yes. My dad, growing up, was raised very Catholic, but it was like kind of, the harsh, kind of mean mid-century Catholic, but he still always remained somewhat religious, and he would always say, Jesus was a radical. And it's true.
It's true. Jesus was a radical.
But Christianity's not radical.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's what happened. So just a couple hundred years after Jesus died, and this like sort of radical community was often running of people who were sharing all of their possessions with each other, taking care of the outcast. Just a few hundred years into that mission and that sort of way of living, the Emperor Constantine, the Roman emperor,
Boo.
decided to paint. Boo is right. He decided to paint like crosses on the shields of his army. He adopted the religion of Christianity so that he could just unite this whole continent, this whole empire, under his authority, and he needed religion to really help him do that. And so from that point on, religion, Christianity, and the state, the power of the state, became intertwined. And ever since then, that has been the case.
And ever since then,
patriarchy
it hated women.
has always been, well, it's hierarchy. It's hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly. It's who can we force to
Hierarchy
do our work,
needs patriarchy.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of the isms that come out of hierarchy and patriarchy, they're just like...
And not enough autism.
And no autism.
The bad ism.
That's
The
not
bad
the ism
ism.
that's
Straight up.
included. So unfortunately, so much of what has been passed on, and especially like institutionally, so much of what has been passed on was already like not aligned with how the early Christians were living, and really, it's all about power, right? Like the institutions need power in order to remain viable. I think I don't know if I'm saying that right exactly, but
And you know what, Mom? You don't have to on this
thank
podcast.
you.
I know. I think you're making perfect.
We're all
you.
loving and learning and living it up on here.
Especially because that's like the framework of the last few hundred or couple thousand years, where it's just like even kind of worldwide, people are climbing on top of each other, climbing on each other's shoulders, and women always end up down at the bottom, but that's also because they're not the very few matriarchies in the world, and those are awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think it also comes down to the fact that women are naturally inferior.
And their feet are small.
They're, and they don't have what it takes
They don't have
Do
a-
you
to really
know-
pull it together
Yeah.
and to
Their
lead
feet
a
are too
community
small.
and to lead a family.
Do you know that there is a vein of scholarship that I actually totally subscribe to, that and there's research behind this, and there are ancient manuscripts to support this, that Mary Magdalene, who for a very long time was
Chills.
cast as a prostitute, as a harlot, as this woman whom
She's just a lady who
Jesus
parties.
cast 7 demons out of, because and they must have been all these sexual demons that she had in her. That actually her name, now there's scholarship around this, that they think that Magdalene wasn't the name, it doesn't mean what they thought it did, and that actually they think it means high tower, that Mary was the high tower, that she was actually very, very close to Jesus, and that there might have even been some jealousy from the male disciples.
Because they were having a kiki.
Well,
Because
I mean,
it was a guy,
Me
it was
and
a
my
gay
bestie
guy
who's
and his
well, I
girl
was going
best
to
friend.
say me and my bestie who's a bi guy.
Yeah. That since the dawn of time,
Since the dawn
a
of
holy
time.
archetype,
A holy archetype.
gay guy, girl best friend,
that's right.
and his Mary
So
Magdalene.
so we actually happen to live in a time where there's a whole lot of disruption, especially with institutions and especially with religious institutions, right? And there's a lot of upheaval, and there's a lot of really rightfully asked questions about like what's going on here, and
What's going on?
what is going on, and what has been hidden from us, what's been covered up. And there's a lot around women in the early days who were with Jesus as his disciples, and especially Mary Magdalene, but others. Also, somebody mentioned earlier the teaching that women can't speak in church, and that wives need to be subservient to their husbands, that comes out of these letters written by the Apostle Paul that are in the Bible. And I didn't know this until I went to seminary.
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal.
And also my grandfather, Paul.
Oh.
He wrote it.
R.I.P. Paul. I did not know this until I went to seminary. But
Because they don't want you to know it.
there are a bunch of letters that Paul wrote that are in the Bible. But guess what? Scholars actually only, like strong scholars, don't think that all of those letters were written by Paul. They actually think that some of them were, and then there isn't a whole lot of support maybe that some were maybe written kind of like Da Vinci might have had some students painting under his name, that Paul could have had some disciples or also people who were like his.
You know what that is? She believed, he lied.
And so guess what? The letter, I don't really understand that reference, so I'm just going to keep going. The letter where wives are supposed to be subservient to their husbands falls in the category of, we're not so sure Paul wrote that.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Are you sure he wrote that?
And perhaps maybe it's a later letter that was written at a time when these early churches were trying to both be a little bit radical, but then also conform to the world that they lived in. They couldn't be too radical, and if they had a bunch of women that were, running around with autonomy, then they might get in trouble and they might get shut down.
Shot by me personally, because I'm not just running around with autonomy. I'm running around with an autonomous
weapon.
Autonomous weapon. I can't say this word. An automatic rifle.
No, you're not.
Girl, I'm close to.
Well, that's not matriarchy.
If one of these hoes tests me one more time,
I'd go to the gun range soon. But I can't stop yawning. I can't
it's
stop
really
yawning.
late.
It's because it's really late. I'm
Past my
tired.
bedtime.
I'm so tired. When did you get into seminary? How old were you? What led you there?
Oh, old.
I
turned 50 in seminary.
Oh.
Yeah.
and you'd never tell.
So I grew up like earlier on. The religious influences on me were much more conservative, and I was influenced more in a tradition where women weren't supposed to be. Didn't go to seminary. Women weren't in leadership roles in the church, that sort of thing. And so for me, it was an evolution. By the time I realized, oh no, I actually understand that actually we're all made in the image of God, and so it doesn't make any sense that by the time I realized that and wanted to go to seminary, I had like toddlers. I had this one and her sisters,
and she was a handful. Her sister.
She was a handful.
Her sister's not me.
Yeah. She,
Them.
yeah. So it took me a while. I had to wait, and I went and got a master's in counseling first because that was easier to access. So I didn't really go to seminary until I was, 48 maybe when I started.
Does it feel safe to talk about how difficult it was for you to get a path to
go to seminary?
Yeah.
Does it feel safe?
Like, does it feel safe to you? Because I'll trash
a little
people.
bit about that.
Yeah.
I'd rather not trash anybody.
You don't have to trash them, but do you mind sharing?
I will say that
how some Christians weren't supportive of.
Some denominations are more supportive than others, and the denomination I was in at the time, which is one that is, in a lot of ways very progressive, was actually not. It didn't open the doors for me.
They said no MILFs.
They did
Pretty
say
much.
they said no mills
Pretty
and
much.
no woman we have to pay. Because they literally told you, correct me if I'm wrong, they literally told you, why would you go to seminary if you can continue doing what you do for our church for free?
Well, there was some of that. Yeah. But
it was mostly the MILF thing, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I mean, also that's interesting because obviously churches, taxes, blah, blah, blah. They don't pay them. I'm starting a church, so I don't have to pay taxes.
This is a church. Infogirls is a
Take me
registered
to church.
I worship again. That's as much as we can do before Hosier strikes us down.
Spirit, lead me when I trust without
I don't think you can't play it. You can't play that. We're gonna have to bleep it out. Kelly Joe!
We got our roughly 8 seconds.
Oh, are you allowed to have 8 seconds?
No, I don't think you're allowed to have any seconds. So that we're gonna have to play the Macarena over that or whatever.
You know what? If this were a matriarchy, you would. You'd be
Yeah.
able to play anything you wanted, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
have to pay anybody for it.
Comunismo.
But was that
Communismo.
disheartening? I guess my question is, was it disheartening for
Communism.
you?
Oh, it was heartbreaking.
Especially having found your way to a church that you saw as accepting, and then realizing that you still weren't welcome in the capacity that you were feeling called.
It still hurts. I'm still salty over it. I thought I was over it, and every time I am confronted with either something to do with that denomination, I realize I'm not over it. So
I'm
it
not
hurts.
over it.
Yeah, and it
I'll
was
cut a bitch.
it, and it really was. It did have to do with a man, and a man saying
And an
that,
ugly man.
that
We
I
don't like
couldn't.
that.
Not a hot
Okay,
man,
yeah.
an ugly man.
Yeah. But I will say that another denomination gladly welcomed me in. And that door was also opened by a man. And it was,
Okay,
and
good
everybody, every step of the way said, "You are welcome. We're so glad you're here." And they made it super easy for me.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. So I mean, for me, that's always been the institution really failed me. And then I do believe that the Spirit did
Spirit leads me
Sing it,
when
girls.
I trust is with
that the
thy
Spirit opened up a
voice.
path, and another institution that was more open and friendly was there to help me.
But
So.
why is it that the institutions are so unwelcoming for women? Because it does seem crazy, because I feel like I know way more Christian women than I know Christian men. And it's always the Christian women who are like doing the most, and especially in like evangelical churches. Like I haven't met an adult Christian woman in recent years that wasn't like an evangelical who was like, and I pray that God will send me my husband. And I'm like, girl, your husband is not at that non-denominational church that is in an old movie theater. That's not where he is. If your church has a coffee bar, your husband is not there, and you should run.
But this is I think what I was gonna say is it is so 30, 40 years ago, if you were a girl and you showed up to a party that you were invited to, if you didn't show up with a guy, people would think that you showed up there looking for a date because you were a slut. So I think that's why. I think it's just like the level of like how misogynistic, especially like the most upper crust white spaces were. Like, because I think even 15, 20 years ago, if a woman walked into a Trump mixer alone without a date, people would be like, she must be looking for a date. You know, it's like the misogyny is so deeply baked in.
Yeah, it's not just the
So
church; it's everywhere.
So
It's everywhere.
So since it's like that outside, once you're in the church, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, will you just? I'm so sorry. Will you help all those
I
other
mean,
girls?
I
and will
remember-
you go talk to them, and like you guys talk too much, and like you guys see things that aren't there. So
At the church that I grew up in, that was considered progressive, I remember getting into a very, very heated argument with grown men over what swimsuits
oh my god,
we
no.
were allowed to bring on the youth mission trip.
Spirit lead me. I pray for those. I pray for those men. They're sick.
I don't.
And no, I know. I was.
I'll
making a
fuck them
joke.
up. And
I
I
was
did
making a
then.
joke.
And I did then. Like, I genuinely came out swinging. I remember were you even there? Do you remember this? I don't know where you were. You were like teaching a class
You were,
or
like,
something.
praying or
you were
something.
probably like doing you were like
freaking
doing something
praying
really
or something.
serious, and then it was me and like this another 12-year-old girl being like, why do we have to wear a one piece if the boys get to be shirtless? And all these grown men, and I could name their names, but I won't. But I remember which ones they were like, well, it's
Jerry Seinfeld.
it's just not right. It's not right. You guys have to wear a one piece, or you have to wear a t-shirt over your bikini
And it's
for
like
the mission trip.
I mean, obviously, if they had to like present reasons why, it would be very awkward for them to
On
even
a mission
try
trip
and
that
present
was,
reasons
let's be
why
real,
that they-
mostly girls.
yeah.
Very few boys are even going.
Yeah. And that was always weird because then it's teaching us that like our bodies are
Evil.
or that we have some sort of play in what people are thinking.
Women
about
are
our bodies.
inherently sexual.
Well, we live in a puritanically
Yeah.
based
Jezebels.
So, I mean, that's just everywhere, right? And of course,
But
it's
it
amplified
comes
in
from
church.
Christianity.
You would know about Jezebels. You have 3 kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what that's.
Jezebel's all of them.
Jezebels all of them.
No, you're a Jezebel for having those kids.
Oh.
That's what I meant. Is that only slutty girls have kids?
Only slutty girls have kids.
Yeah, that's right, Christians. Only slutty girls have kids.
Tell that to those ladies with 20 kids out in Utah.
Yeah, tell that to Michelle Duggar. Michelle Duggar, the certified sluttiest girl in the world. She has 19 kids.
I would love to hate her, but in no universe do I not see her as just a straight up victim.
I mean,
Is this an argument?
we're about to have our first fight because Michelle Duggar.
I know she knows, like she's aware of what's going on in that house. All of her sons are rapists and pedophiles, but her husband is allegedly. Her husband is a rapist and a pedophile, allegedly. But she's been indoctrinated by a quote-unquote Christian community to believe those things and to believe herself as inferior to a man who is abusing his power that has been cultivated through faux Christian ideals.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like she has any way to get out.
I mean, she could kill herself.
If I were Michelle Duggar,
Gun in my throat.
I would do this collab. If I were Michelle Duggar, I would do a collab with Skims. If I were Michelle Duggar, I would do a collab with Skims, and I would leave my husband, and I would disown all of my sons.
If I was Michelle Duggar, I would leave him, go to Vegas, get a Love Island contract going, come out of it with a girlfriend, do a PR tour as a lesbian, maybe join a soccer team.
All right.
I would like really lean. I think the only way to come to do a comeback for Michelle Duggar would be to like, I was gay the whole time.
Yeah, it's
Then people would be like,
do
oh,
the Kevin Spacey.
do the Kevin
works for him.
Spacey. My name. I'm from Israel, and Kevin Spacey is my favorite actor.
We can't.
I wish we could splice in the clip of Kevin Spacey doing tap dancing in Tel Aviv.
We can. And we'll say that your mom filmed it.
My mom's like, "What did I agree to
What
doing?"
did I agree to doing?
Mama, you raised these women.
Mama, you raised these women.
Proudest moment.
What is something...
I do want to circle back to the sexual impurity conversation, though, because I do feel like that is something that is used by the church to keep women down.
Yeah. This is... Because the church mirrors the patriarchy so it's completely parallel, does all of the same things.
And
but just to a more extreme extent, and a more overtly and directly shameful.
Yeah. Well, and I do feel like...
And obviously not.
The church has cornered the market on shame.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I will
blurb
say
it.
The number one thing when I think about going back to OG Jesus, that the
he was
number
getting
one
laid?
thing that he...
He was
No,
fingering.
the number one thing that when I think about what he did was that he lifted shame off of people. Time and time again. So the fact that the church is like so like that shame is its currency is just, it doesn't make any sense. It's heartbreaking too.
Especially when it's kind of like religion was the first therapy, you know, like obviously hundreds of years ago, but when good, healthy analytics and relationships with shame is what makes mental health so much things be alleviated. It's funny to see like just all of these direct and obvious parallels that we can't just
I also feel like the church like the shame that was that was cultivated by the church was also the advent of OCD as we know it.
Well,
yeah.
there is, so you know, you think about, like, I was gonna say, look, shame never helps. I do think that some people will argue that sometimes, like, public shaming can be helpful to keep a society on track. But when you think about it, like, really, so much of the shame that the institutional church and institutional religion focuses on is individual.
Yeah.
And that's not where we need to be focused. I mean, if we want to figure out how to change society, and there's certain things that are happening in society, and we want to use the tool of shame to kind of correct where society is going, it's not on the individual. It's on these systems that are enabling people to behave in ways that are harmful, right? But one individual I mean, I just think that that's what happens time and time again with religion, is that people absorb kind of like this idea that, oh, I'm bad, when actually, you know what, so much out here is what's contributing to people not having what they need in order to thrive. And, you know, there's only so much you can do as one human being to
and the weight of the world is depressing.
Weight of the world,
even just imagining it is
well, and you know,
trying to conceptualize it.
You're born into families, you're born into towns, you're born into countries, you're born into cultures. You have no control over any of that, right? And so much of who we are is actually not really in our control. Like, it just kind of happened to us, and we can make choices the older we get and the more we understand that we have more choice points. But it takes a really long time to realize that you have more choice points than the ones that have been handed to you. So, and that's not your fault. I mean, it's not your fault. So how you know, how can it be anybody's fault if they make decisions, make choices that lead to something bad before they even know that they have other choice points? So anyway, sorry, that's a lot.
No, it's also mirroring something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and just even over like the last, like a long time, like the last couple of years of like interpersonally and just interacting with the world, making things less about you or me and making them more about us. Like, what are we doing together? What kind of dynamic are we making here together, good or bad or whatever? And the fact that we can play with the world around us and whatever's right in front of us. And obviously we're coming out of having such a restrictive society that people didn't even like understand how they felt at all. And so how are they supposed to ask for their needs to get met and ask for...
Right. So two things I'm thinking about as you're saying that. One, I heard this definition not long ago about sin, and it really resonates for me, this idea of sin. And it is that sin is the illusion of separation, and that sinful activity is activity that stems from that illusion, because the truth is we're all connected, and what you do affects me, what I do affects you, and actually the illusion that our choices don't impact others, that's actually that illusion is the problem. And so I know it's a little bit heady, but
No, that's back to we were just talking about how much we don't like choice feminism the other day.
Yeah.
Exactly, right. But the other thing that I'm thinking about as you were talking is that back to OG Jesus, the one thing that he said, oh Jesus,
Oh Jesus,
oh Jesus,
I'm out.
Raise your glass. Here, you can have mine.
Can I have it? All of it?
Sure.
I only had like the SCOBY
Brian.
left
I know,
of this
I
natural
know.
wine, and I hope it didn't read on camera that it looked really gross.
But
It was very dirt. It was like literally
I told Brian to get more wine. I don't know where it is. Where is it?
in the fridge.
I think it's on the bottom in the door. I think I'm sweating.
That's okay.
it's warm, and we're in like our
Well, we're being really chaste.
maiden.
We're being
outfits.
very chaste.
Okay, but the other thing I want to say about the OG Jesus is that Jesus, like when they asked him, what is the most important thing that we need to know and hold on to? And do you all know what he said?
What did he say, Mama?
What's the most important thing?
The golden rule. Love each other. You don't want to say hi, right?
Okay, so love each other. It is love others as you love yourself, right?
Oh, right. It's that one.
Is that one? It's love. It's
Wait,
love,
you guys,
it's
wait,
actually-
it's that one.
It's
Is
actually
that one? I said the golden rule.
Wait.
It's actually love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my chest.
that's all that matters according to the OG Jesus.
Was this that?
No.
And so I
Let me
asked
finish that.
So I ask you in this question about why does the church hate women, patriarchy in the church, all of that. You cannot, like if you hold on to that which is known as the Great Commandment, love God with all your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. You cannot love your neighbor as yourself and decide that it's okay to have power over them. You just can't. You can't do both, right? And so we live in a society and a culture, and we inhabit these religious communities that are all based, like they're operating out of a totally different economy, which is power and who's at the top. And as long as I'm at the top, let's just figure out who's at the top and then maybe who's next. And then, but that was never part of the mission, and that was never part of the teaching of the one that we in Christian communities say we follow.
So you think that women can vote, right?
I mean, if they're smart.
I
Tell
don't.
me they're smart.
I literally nothing can make me think that women it should be one vote per family.
Per family.
One vote for family.
And if you don't
and
have-
the
if you
handsome
don't-
husband
if you-
is the one who votes.
Can I say something personal again? Will you be upset if I say anything that implicates our extended family? I don't think they're watching this.
I
And
know,
you know
I was
what?
gonna mention my
Lord,
aunt
I
was
hope my
watching.
extended family is not watching this podcast. 3 episodes in. But I'll never forget being at a Thanksgiving dinner with all of our cousins and your family. And this was after you were an ordained minister. And someone, I won't say who it was, but someone turned to my father and said, "Well, Carter, you're the man of the house. Why don't you lead us in prayer?" Full-blown pastor standing right there.
It's hard to remember.
Or that time that you got a letter that was like to the Reverend and Mrs. Carter Brothers. When it should have been to the Reverend and Mr. Carter Brothers Esquire, attorney-at-law.
Come on now.
But yeah, like how do you navigate that? Because I think, something that we talk about a lot is just by being women that exist in a space where people, like Kelly Jo and I are obviously not afraid to speak our opinions about people. And you know what? We have been called a man-hater in our day, and I hope I will be again.
Yeah. And by the way, brother, if she's not a man-hater, she's a bird, and you need to get her out of your bed. she's going to cheat on you the second she can.
Boom. But to speak on that, like, I feel like we always talk about feeling invalidated and overlooked as women who in creative spaces who are trying to create things and trying to have conversations and, you know, trying to get someone to give us $1 million to make a movie. And I was just wondering if, you know, you wanted to share a little bit about your experience navigating the world with people knowing that you are a lady of the cloth, but not necessarily being supportive of it. Like people outside of your community in the church. Like, because in your church community, you've cultivated a community that, like, embraces you and encourages
And supports
you
your
and supports
OnlyFans.
you. Her only
pastors.
her only fuck I feel I should, it's on the tip of my tongue, something funny.
Yeah.
Her only what is this thing? What is this thing? What's the thing that you wear?
Huh?
The stole. Her only stole.
What was the question?
I don't know.
So, as you were asking that question, I was remembering I'm good because it's a different one in there. Thanks. I was remembering an experience I had some years ago where I had flown to this little island to be the pastor for the week on this island up in Maine. Had had a great time. I had preached a sermon about women, even women in the Old Testament, like turning the world upside down. That's Shifra and Pua, the midwives.
Don't tell me women in the Old Testament.
The
That's
midwives.
like, I'm getting excited.
The midwives who bested Pharaoh. And I was flying home, and there was a young man next to me on the plane, and he had some like cross tattoos, and he had like really tight t-shirt, big muscles, and like
He's
a
a
big
rocker.
belt buckle, and
So he's a Western guy.
we started talking, and he told me he was a pastor, and I said, oh, so am I. And he was of a tradition where women couldn't be pastors, and he spent the entire flight mansplaining to me why I was wrong, and was using Bible verses, and
People want to be right.
and
so bad.
I found it fascinating. I mean, I was like, there are people listening to this conversation. Like, we had people all around us.
And I already did the certification.
I would have literally been like, flight attendant.
They already filed the paperwork.
I would have called the flight attendant and I would have said, he just told me he had a bomb.
Well, I found myself with this just incredible amount of peace. It just was kind of like, I just felt like,
Well, because you know God and he doesn't.
I felt
'Cause you
I
filed the
felt
paperwork.
sad.
She filed the paperwork.
I did feel sad for him. And I felt like he was saying a lot of things that had been told to him that he hadn't really examined at all. And I just kind of listened and didn't say much. And then by the end, I was like, well, I'll just give you a couple of the reasons why I disagree with you. Like, you know. But, and we didn't argue, and I have no idea what came out of that conversation with him. I do know that if I had been defensive, it would have gone worse. I would have felt worse, and I don't think he would have been able to hear me at all. I don't know if he heard me. I don't know if it made any difference. But I kind of felt like when we walked away, we got off the plane, and I thought about him, and I thought, and I knew he told me he had like an hour and a half drive to get to where he was going, and I thought, I just really hope that in the next hour and a half he meets God, like he has an experience, and he really like
Lord,
has
let
some
him
sort
find
of
you.
Because it's true. What is his thinking? Like, and I'm sure all of the reasons that he was saying to you out loud, I'm sure he thinks he believes them, but he does truly not understand how.
I just can't believe being a man in skinny jeans saying all that stuff.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm like,
You got a lot
you're
to talk about.
You're talking our style, but you're player hating on us. Well, it's just, the whole point of that. the harshness of gender is like the first way that they tried to split us up and make us controllable, you know? Because that's the thing. They split us up by gender, by race, by religion.
And I don't even think gender's really that real.
By party style, by NBA team. And
By
then
MBTI.
And then they watch us fight while they rake in the millions.
Well,
And
Christians love to classify themselves. Evangelical Christians love the MBTI. They love Myers. Wait, no, that is Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
They love the Myers-Briggs. They love the, what are the numbers?
Oh, the Enneagram?
The Enneagram, and they love the love languages, which are all just random ways to classify your, like, they're basically Hogwarts houses. Like, it's all, like, it's all these ways of being like, well, this is the person, and don't get me started about the love languages.
Yeah, we were going to have a whole segment on that, but we can preview it. Just go off for a second.
The thing about the love languages is they were created by an evangelical pastor because he realized that a lot of these young people that had been forced into marriage because of purity culture didn't know how to relate to each other, have empathy for their spouses. So it was basically like, imagine that your spouse wants you to do the dishes. You might want to have sex all the time, but your wife might want you to do the dishes sometimes.
And they're like, wow, I've never thought about it like that. And now I've had...
And that's a completely accurate read, and I can say that because I met that guy. I met the guy who made them.
Yeah, that's
I didn't know
so
that.
weird.
He lives in Winston-Salem.
Oh.
Well, did I just dox him? He lives in a place that I went to college.
We can bleep it.
Well, I said this earlier, but you were talking about division and categories, and back to this idea, to keep it on religion, sin is the illusion of separation. I just really love that definition because that's what you're talking about. All of these categories and all of these names and tribes that, you know, we either put ourselves in or put other people in, that's the problem, right? We are all human and we are all kin, and actually I now am much more focused on trying to figure out how do we reestablish a sense of kindred relationship with the beyond human world, which is everything that's out there, right? The trees and the water and all the animals and all of that, because I think that's another place where religion has really done a lot of harm, is that all of the focus has been on humans. And colonialism could not have taken off without the sanction of religion and
Them pilgrims.
and
Nasty, smelling freaks.
right, exactly. And
Oh, but they were prudes.
There are no pilgrims. Listen, nobody in this room is descended from pilgrims.
well, I mean, there's pilgrims, and then there's just also like colonialism, like actually going, and I mean, it wasn't just the
most of the
pilgrims.
people in this room are descended from colonialism.
I'm not.
Well, we can't
The Irish in the room shaking their heads.
we can't help where we came from.
Well, technically we still did, but not by our own volition. They came into our country 800 years, and they're still not out. Give us our 6 counties back.
26 plus 6.
Up with the RA. Can I say that?
Up the raw.
That's how you say it?
Yeah,
Ah.
up the raw.
I've only read it.
Sorry, divulged. But this is
Diverged.
diverged.
And divulged.
We have 5 minutes?
We have 5 minutes.
Okay, we only have 5 minutes.
There's another card.
Oh, there's another card,
This one ends.
but how many minutes have we been going? Probably
An hour. Now there's.
Oh, okay, we got 5 minutes.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes. This is unfortunate because I was just interacting with some sort of media, whether I was reading something or something about kind of that was talking about the like early religious philosophers, or like not early, but in the last like 200 years or so, and talking about how all of the religions, like the world religions, not Western or just Christianity or whatever, we're more likely to have been drawn to it from an animalistic standpoint in our bodies than from some sort of logical standpoint. And that's brilliant to me because obviously growing up your whole life and I like me believing in some sort of higher power, some sort of greater thing that isn't this like, you know, singular patriarchal God or whatever. It's just so perfect for, I don't know, like my grandfather was like 80 something years old and was like a 12-year-old boy. He was like, you think God's real? Then why do babies die of cancer? I was like, I got over that when I was 9. I got up and over that when I was 9. God can't control that. That's not God created like water and then left. Like, you know, like it was really just that. Like that's kind of
to speak on the animalistic thing. I think the other thing about like the thing that I think can be so intoxicating about religion and the ways that it becomes easy for the cult of Christianity to take over is that it feels pretty good. Spirit lead me. Like if you've ever been subject to a youth lock-in and you spent 3 days at the church and you didn't know what time it is because whenever you asked somebody what time it was, they'd say it's this long or it's this long.
My sister was going to the rock concerts, the mini local rock concerts, where teenage boys were like, Jesus is my friend.
It's like when you're in it, I get when you're in there, and I've been there. Like when you're in there, you're like, this rocks. Like I feel alive. Like I feel like I'm never gonna die.
Even me, when I'm driving my car and I have my little car rosary, and I go, I'm never gonna die.
Yeah. Well, but the thing about it is that at the same time, though, like, I think the thing and the fallacy of religion and organized religion... Sorry, Mom.
No need.
But, like, because I am deeply skeptical of the church as an institution and as religion as a of religion as a construct and as a defining, as something that is, definition of how we should live, I think about those youth lock-ins, and I think about being 13, and I think about being at a youth lock-in and praying over someone, and knowing that they were hurting, and trying my best to help them, and I wanted them to know that they were safe with me. And I don't know that I conveyed that through religion. I don't think that me praying over this person was me being safe with them. And I think about it a lot because it is something that I really regret because I thought that I was doing something that was helpful, but as I understand now, I'm like, the church was never going to love this person the way that...
And you were like, I needed to talk to them.
Yeah,
they needed a friend to talk to.
The way that, I could love this person on my own, the church was never going to love them that way.
And it's probably... I always think of, I automatically was thinking of, I wonder how that person remembers that.
I hope they forgot about it.
Well, that is true because throughout this entire podcast, I keep remembering all of these religious events or things I did that had involved with church because my parents really didn't take me to church or anything.
Take me to church.
Take me to church. Didn't take me to church. And it is people are on a drug. They're in an agreement when you're a young person especially. And you're kind of in the woo-woo type of, because I went to a couple of camps that I didn't know were about to be Christian, and they turned out to be Christian, and it was we were singing, and I was oh.
Yeah.
Okay, my dad would not be happy if I were here. My dad would literally, be my dad used to freak out about how Christians were, evil, and understandable, he grew up in Catholicism in the 50s. And 60s, so he was probably getting hated on by weird Christians, but I don't know, they were just weird and telling you not to have sex. That's another reason why my parents didn't
It's not very
Christianity.
creative.
They were
not
like-
very
It's not creative.
They
Like,
were-
think
they
of something else.
Yeah,
Tell me not to steal. No one was telling me not to steal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I needed to do because I was a kleptomaniac as a teenager. Anyway.
No one was telling me to show up for my local politics.
Nobody was telling me to do my homework.
No, they
I
were
knew
just
that.
like, don't have sex because if you do, you're a chewed up piece of gum and you're a piece of shit.
So here's what I think. I don't know what God is ultimately, and I do believe that Jesus was a embodiment of love that was unconditional, that was extraordinary, and there are very really good reasons why people said, we see God in you. We see that you and God are one. But ever since then, and I think you can do that for any religion. I'm sure, I just don't know the other world religions like I know Christianity.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
why
definitely
we didn't attempt.
we're not
And
even talking
I'm not
about
going,
those.
and I'm not going to.
No, they're not.
Please don't ask us to.
Scientology, I've only been studying for 2
Actually,
weeks.
no, I'll talk about Scientology.
I've only been studying for 2 weeks.
I'll talk about it. I want to get killed.
Sorry.
No, it's good. But I do think that all of these institutions, denominations that we're talking about, these experiences, they're like these containers for some sort of attempt at an experience with a power and a being bigger than any one of us, right? And they are all flawed. None of them get it right. And as humans, we can kind of test one out and see if it makes our lives bigger, makes us more free. This is back to that guy on that airplane. The reason why I had such peace was because I thought, I'm free and you're not. And so I could feel some sort of empathy for him because I thought, you're actually imprisoned in some thinking here.
And we have to abolish prisons.
And we have to abolish prisons for sure.
Especially the ones in our
Absolutely.
minds.
The ones in our minds, the ones that the walls too. But I think there are all these containers that we can try and we can experiment with them. None of them are right, 100%. Some might give us more freedom and enable us to thrive in ways that help us grow into our bigger self, right? But in my journey, I've moved through containers, and I don't actually regret any of it because I think this is to what you're saying about, did I get it wrong when I was praying over my friend? We're all doing the best we know how in the moment that we're in.
Not you,
All right.
Bobby.
And all the pets now.
Marcus.
Bobby. But yeah, everyone is doing the best they know how in the moment that they're in. Ultimately, my hope is that more people can acknowledge that God is a mystery. And I do believe that God is as close as our very next breath. And I believe that God is in way more than we know.
This
We
is a
started
weird
over.
thing. I feel like we should get the pets out.
Get the
Yeah,
pets out.
get out of there, get out of there. Okay, we're gonna start over.
It's too good. Dorcas, get over here.
Where is she?
Well, it's okay. She's not making noise on the chair.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, Bobby, get out of
She
there.
scratches the chair because the mic's on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now we're back. You can say it again.
So yeah, ultimately, I do believe we're all doing the best we know how, given the moment that we're in. And as long as we don't stay in one place and we keep exploring, I'm not the first to say this, but the idea that God is like this name that's kind of like the blanket that we put over the mystery. The mystery is so much bigger and so much more powerful and so much more real and alive than I think any of us can imagine. And I more and more really lean into the idea, the belief, the practice that God is in all things, not just humans. But maybe even that's a radical idea for a lot of people, that God is in you. and
They
that
need
you
that.
don't have to actually like go through this whole set of prayers and rituals for that to be true. And that, you know, God is also like in the trees. That God is not. I don't worship trees, but God is in the tree. You might.
She worships that ganja.
But it changes everything when you look at the world that way.
Yes.
And it's much more magical and more orienting.
And I think it makes much more sense for the fact that the chaotic symbiosis of the world.
I guess my one last thing before we figure out how we're wrapping all this up, because we've been all over today, all over the 7 seas. Is there anything you might want to say or could say to anyone listening who might have been hurt
Ooh.
by the church?
Ooh.
Because I feel like the damage done by the church is pretty damning, for lack of a better word. Not that I believe in hell.
We
but,
weren't
like,
even gonna want to go there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it, and I was
But
like,
as
let's
a
just go there anyway.
Look, and as a Catholic, I'm just gonna say I'm really sorry. And am I a Catholic? Kind of, not really. But as somebody who's
Are you Catholic in the sense that you have OCD?
Yes. Somebody whose dad had a Catholic upbringing so bad he wasn't willing to put his children through it. I'm sorry about the Catholic religion. I'm sorry about Reformation, not the great store that sells clothes for too much money.
The fast fashion store that sells clothes for too much money.
I'm talking about Martin Luther. Not King, that's my king. End of apology video. Now on to my friend Jen Brothers.
I guess I just say
Just, that sucks, bro.
absolutely it sucks. And yeah, I think I'm sorry is the right, like, I'm sorry not because not in the sense of like I'm sorry feeling like personally responsible, but I'm sorry just empathetically as a human being for the pain.
Do you
that
not
religion...
feel responsible in any way?
Oh, do I need to say I'm sorry to you?
Actually, you need to apologize to me for being a Christian and not a
No,
Catholic.
that's
Is
not
that
what.
where
That's
we're
not where
going?
I was going with this. But I personally feel like I could apologize to people.
Yeah.
For already being married to Jesus.
I just feel like, and I'm not saying that to call you out.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I just mean in the sense that like
You started.
I
you
feel
started
you.
Protestantism.
Well, no, she didn't.
You founded that.
And Jen is an icon, and Jen is a queen. But I do feel like I saw your feminist journey happening in my own lifetime.
Sure. Absolutely.
Because that wasn't how it was when we were kids. It
No.
didn't really start until after you went and got your master's.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the only reason that I was pressing
Yeah.
on it. Was because,
Yeah. Well, I didn't know.
yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, if we're talking about feminism, I didn't know.
Well, that's also something that is so. I think so much of feminism is like you're finding out about it through your own experience. It's almost like when 40 years ago when gay people were like, I never knew what a lesbian meant. It's like every young feminine
I just thought that
person-
having sex with my husband sucked.
every young feminine person is like, I'm seeing these things that I don't like about this, and I'm trying to work through it, and like until you have the right vocabulary.
So I'm really the only person that learned feminism through Betty and Veronica Double Digest.
I did, but that meant that you and your friend should have the same boyfriend. That's feminism. That's feminism.
And fight all the time over that same boyfriend.
Yeah, 'cause you
who
guys
was
are
really
having
subpar.
fun.
I'm sorry. Why
know.
fight over that guy?
Betty and Veronica taught me that there is something to find attractive in an ugly man.
I loved those comics.
Me
I
too.
know, I love them
And you let me read them.
And I was
even when you weren't a
such Betty
feminist.
fan. No, I did. Right. So I didn't. I mean, I was taught that feminism was a dirty word. I was taught that a woman's place was to be second and supportive and subservient
And sexy.
and I just didn't know. I didn't know. And I think that, back to this conversation when it comes to religion, there is this conflation of obedience to men and subservience being the same as obedience to God, because as long as we refer to God as He, then God and every man are on the same sort of platform. And the minute that you decide that you're gonna, subvert that, it feels like you are actually acting against God. Now, there is no question in my mind now that God is not male. I cannot
Non-binary.
stand when anybody
No, I'm
refers
non-binary.
to God as He. But most people,
God,
most
the original
Christians
Amen.
continue to refer to God as He. And so as long as God is known as He, I mean, it's just reinforcing patriarchy, right?
Well, I also want to. I do want to also press on this because you say you don't know. You didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that you didn't know, or is it that you didn't know how it could be?
I mean,
Because I think it's like there's things we don't know, and then there's things that we don't allow ourselves to want.
sure,
That there's things that we don't allow ourselves to believe possible.
sure.
And I think for a lot of women that are in more of an oppressive church context, you don't even know that you're allowed to want more for yourself.
Sure.
You don't know that you're allowed to want to speak. You don't know that you're allowed to want to have sex.
Rest in peace, Michelle Duggar.
Yeah.
When I kill you, you will be dead.
When I kill myself, when I reincarnate as Michelle Duggar. But it's one of those things where I think this, it's like, I remember hearing this, like, and I know we said we were wrapping this up, but I guess there's just so much to talk about on this subject. But, like, I remember hearing this NPR story when I was in college about all of these women that had grown up in a purity cult, and how after they got married, they started having physical symptoms of, like, pain and distress, like eczema, like all of these things. Like they just started like feel like the way that they had been taught to live their lives the second after they got married and were allowed to have sex, suddenly their lives were worse.
Yeah.
And
it's so scary.
It's scary, but it's like also it's like that we're taught, like again what you're saying about being taught about shame, like when you have shame like drilled into your bones by people that you want to trust, by people who teach you to trust them, by people who tell you and show you that things can be good because they're playing awesome music. It's lead me out upon the waters. It's something that like it really sticks. And it really rewires the way that you're allowed to exist. And I think, when I think about friends of mine who are queer and grew up in the church, and the way that physically manifested in their bodies, because it was something that you weren't even like allowed to express or even believe that you could express. Because I feel like there's layers of like, oh, I want to say this thing, or it's I don't even want to say this thing. If that makes sense. So that's my question. Is it that you didn't know, or is it that you didn't believe that you could know things?
I don't know how you know the difference between those. I mean, I didn't know, and maybe also I didn't know that I could believe.
Well, I do think what's cool is that I never thought that I couldn't. So obviously, like, there was elements of that where it was like, something was happening in our house where I didn't feel. I mean, I started calling myself a feminist when I was like in second grade.
Yeah. pretty much, yeah.
So I felt like I was allowed to.
Right.
Even though you didn't call yourself a feminist.
I didn't know to call myself a feminist at the time, but I absolutely am married to someone who was in every way, shape, and form completely supportive.
But he didn't call himself a feminist.
Feministo.
It wasn't a word he would have used, but he behaved that way.
Well, this is what I was going to say is like when I think about that as like a bad word and blah, 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 like my mom didn't think it was a bad word, my dad did, or like, had negative connotations with it. It is, whether or not people in America know it, most people, even who would talk crap about feminists, are a feminist already because they think that women should, be
shut up.
Right.
Because they think women should shut up and give it up.
And that's the thesis of the infogirls pod.
Yeah.
Shut up, give it up.
Shut up and give it up.
You're doing a good job.
But it's like
Oh, shutting up and giving up?
Yes. Because it's literally just like girls being in boys' spaces and stuff and like blah blah blah. It's very, very basic to be a feminist, and people are just afraid of anything with any negative connotation. People are so afraid of being othered, of all of these things. And so that's kind of more what it is. Because, like, even, like, my mom, I don't know if she ever used the term feminism, but she was always saying a lot of stuff that I now know is, like, actually quite deep thoughts. And whether or not she got them from a book or from her own mind, girls, or, like, when you're feminine, you're going to be experiencing stuff anyway, and you're going to be analyzing it, and when you finally have a way to express it, that's when you're able to implement change, that even if it's just reframing your mind.
Girl, when you're feminine, you're going to be feeling things. When I tell you that the experiences of the girls that were at the youth lock-in were literally going through, like, 120 days of Sodom. And the boys that were at the lock-in were like
20 days of Sodom.
The boys that were at the lock-in were literally like, I didn't get the position on the soccer team that I wanted to get.
Thank you guys for coming to another totally awesome episode of infogirls, where we let you guys in on the fact that you can't reach the metaphysical other side and you can't talk to God unless you're being feminine.
Or you know a woman. So if you are trying to do that, reach out to a woman.
If you want to talk to God, you gotta just be a little limp in the wrist for 1 second. Even if that's because other men are calling you gay for how hard you simp for your wife. All right. Shout out to our sponsor, Raytheon.
And our sponsor, Cars for Kids.
And our other sponsor, Israel. Not the country, a guy I know named Israel.
And our sponsor, tap dancing lessons from Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
And our Kevin Spacey. Jen, do you have anything to say? Do you like us, or do you
I
think
love
we suck?
you.
Do you think we're pretty?
Gorgeous.
We think you're pretty.
Thank you.
Speak on it.
Anything to plug?
Do we have anything to plug?
I don't think that this will come out before I have a show on July 8th, but I have a show on July 8th. And even if this comes out before then, I don't think this is going to make anybody other than, like, maybe 2 friends come to that show.
And if you want, are there any spots left on your religious pilgrimage?
Absolutely. Sacred Roots in Ireland in August. You want to learn about Celtic Christianity and St. Bridget especially.
Lady Saint.
Lady Saint.
Not only Lady Saint, she was, the story is that she became a bishop, like in the 700s.
Lady Bishop.
In Kildare in Ireland. Bishop over a dual monastery where not only nuns, but also monks, like men. She was like in charge of the whole thing.
Okay.
And she was a
Co-ed
redhead.
spaces.
And she was a redhead.
Co-ed spaces.
And she was the keeper of the eternal flame.
Keeper of the eternal flame.
Me when I'm the keeper of the eternal flame.
Me when I'm the keeper of the eternal flame because I have a lot of bodily energy.
Me when Infogirls is the keeper of the eternal info.
Here you go. There you go.
Okay, should we sign it off by
Yeah.
singing Infinite
Insolent girl.
What was it?
No,
Infolent
well, no, but the
girl.
one my mom knows is
Oh.
far too many notes for my taste, and
Most
most of
of
them
them
about
about
Christine Fontaine.
Christine Daae.
Christine Daae has returned. The end. Most of them about Fontaine. Thank you, Jen. That was so
I love
good.
that. I love that one.
That was so good, and we didn't even want to stop talking.
I
We
know.
kept going by a moment. Hanging by a moment. Hanging by a moment with you. There was like a period of time. There was a period of time where like pop rock singers could be Christian. Not anymore. That's the
Save it
rule
for the
now.
pod.
That's
the rule now. That's goal.
That's the goal.
What's going on?
Who?
What's going on?